What's going on, everyone? My name's Dodge Gaming and welcome back to a midweek, oddly timed Spotlight video. These are usually released on the weekend, but I wanted to wait for Xbox to get their shit out of the way before I released it. So for those of you that maybe don't know, the Xbox conference went live Saturday night of the weekend just gone. I was very excited to watch, and in many ways they blew it out of the water, but in a few others they basically sank their own metaphorical ship. Stick around to hear what I thought, let me know in the comments what you thought, and we'll get straight into it. First up, we'll cover the bad, just to get it out of the way. First up, lack of exclusives. Where first-party IPs are concerned, Sony are ruling the waters, so to speak, and then some, actually. Story-based exclusives are severely lacking on the Xbox, and this E3 was one of only 2 chances this year to prove that they know what they're doing. The other being Gamescom coming up very soon in August. They all but failed at E3, quite frankly. They spent a hefty amount of time showcasing various games that we already knew about, like Cuphead, State of Decay 2 and Forza for instance, and then spent more time, like 10-15 minutes, showcasing both Shadow of War and BioWare's new EP Anthem, neither of which are Xbox exclusives. Now you may see a lot of statistics flying around saying that Xbox actually announced 22 different exclusives for their console. And while this is technically true, what you won't be reading from the more biased websites is that most of these are in fact launch exclusives, which means that other platforms will get them eventually, or they're indie games from Xbox's ID Projekt. Indie games are great, but they're neither platform says or a particularly good way of showcasing a new console's power. And even the much touted Battlegrounds that everyone was so pleased to hear was going to be an Xbox exclusive is in fact a timed Xbox exclusive. In fact, the only exclusive games that were showcased that we didn't know about originally was a new Ori game and a better look than what we've had at the promising Souls-like title Ashen. None of the games that Xbox currently have under their wing, as it were, even so much stand up to the likes of Uncharted, Last of Us or Horizon Zero Dawn. And those are just the PS exclusives that have already been released. Not even the triage of the mighty Halo, Gears and Forza series match up to these games.
Some of this. How about you?
How will you decide who belongs?
Thanks.
Next up is the lack of awareness. What I mean by this are the various statements made by Phil Spencer and others about how their console currently offers, and I quote, the strongest lineup of games ever seen on the Xbox platform, and other such hyperbolic nonsense.
Today, we showcase some of the world's greatest creators with a lineup of different types of games for every type of gamer. We showed you the largest and most diverse lineup of new games that have ever appeared on our stage.
Xbox and their employees either don't care about the strength of Sony's lineup and Switch's lineup, in case you haven't noticed, they might be blissfully unaware, or they just have that much faith in their indie developers. Whichever way it is, they're going about it the wrong way. Gears of War and Halo can no longer carry Xbox through sales, and while Forza may be a great franchise that showcases their hardware terrifically, that can't carry a console all by its lonesome. But we're going to move on, so now that the bad is out of the way, we should definitely move on to the good, because there's a surprisingly large amount of it, especially after I got a bit salty about how shit the conference was. There's some good stuff, and we're going to get straight into it. First up at number 5 is Xbox Original backwards compatibility.
Today, I'm pleased to announce an exciting expansion to the program.
This is a great piece of fan service from Microsoft. Ever since the unsurprising success of Xbox 360 backwards compatible, fans have been clamouring for Xbox to reach even further back into the history books. So many great games were released on the original console that you literally cannot name all of them. I love the idea of sitting down and playing through some of the old classics, and Xbox went a little way to making up for their exclusive issues with this cheeky little announcement.
Crimson Skies. And it looks great. And like the Xbox 360 games, OG games will look better and play better across the Xbox One family.
Number 4 is Sea of Thieves. Made by the extremely popular and famous Rare, and one of the few Xbox-only games, genuinely, the long 5 to 10 minutes that Microsoft dedicated to its MMO pirate simulator showed just about everyone why Sea of Thieves is a game you shouldn't miss. showcasing a great art style, a massive world, and genuinely fun and heart-pounding gameplay from the looks of it. Sea of Thieves turned from gimmicky 15 minutes of fun into possibly one of the most promising games of 2017 in just an 8 or 9 minute conference. Looking like a great time with friends with intelligent gameplay driving the experience, Sea of Thieves has fully converted me, an original doubter, and many others over to its side, and I cannot wait to see more of its wonderful just personality.
Making it through this storm in one piece.
Number 3 is being the chosen company to showcase so many AAA games.
Running on an Xbox One X. Here's John Warner from BioWare to show you Anthem.
Confidence in you is important as one of the foremost places to play games currently available, and Microsoft seem to still be able to command that strength. Being the chosen platform to announce both Anthem and the stunning new Metro game, along with hefty showings from Shadow of War, the Life is Strange prequel, and also Assassin's Creed Origins, with the first two, Anthem and Metro Exodus, being showcased on the brand new console from Microsoft, this is a great show of confidence in them from other developers. Xbox have always been stout in their placing massive importance in third-party titles, and their willingness to sacrifice conference time to advertise them is great. It really is. It really shows people exclusives aren't the only spur to console gaming.
Come from any direction. This dynamic world where the unexpected is around every corner.
Yeah, he seems like a problem for another day.
Number 2, and the penultimate one, is indie support. I know I moaned about this earlier on, but Xbox's support for indie titles is actually amazing, despite what I think of their exclusive list. Not only does it support and uplift potentially great smaller developers, but indie games also have a great habit of being completely unique and often incredible. See Limbo, Inside, Firewatch and Ori and the Blind Forest for perfect examples of this. The very fast showreel of indie games showed multiple that were interesting to me, but it's the one that actually got a full trailer that looked the coolest. Ashen.
The dark is older than the light. At last a day dawned, and we rose with this first light.
Dark Souls is an immensely popular series, sporting multiple copycat entries like The Surge and Bloodborne, just to name two. Ashen takes this concept of hard combat and dark atmosphere and adds a beautiful art style with interesting combat mechanics, and it does look great. Ashen is actually the perfect example of why supporting indie developers on console is important, and I do want more of it, Microsoft, so please don't stop.
This rebirth will end our wandering.
Number 1 is unsurprising, it is the full announcement of the Xbox One X.
Represent 3 years of engineering the team has done to bring you Xbox One X. From the beginning, our focus on game creators and you, the gamer, gave us 3 big goals we needed to hit: power, compatibility, and craftsmanship. Let's talk power.
As much as I think the new official name is a little silly, and Scorpio does sound better, let's just be honest, the Xbox One X does look amazing. Not only is it in a small form factor, being around the same size as the Xbox One S, its specs are incredible for a console. I won't bore you with all the details now, the link to all that sort of stuff will be in the description, and various facts will be popping up on screen as I'm talking probably, but Xbox have knocked it out of the park with the X. With Forza, Metro and Anthem all showcased at the conference on the hardware running at 4K native, the fears that it wouldn't match up to the promises have all but been extinguished. And the price point is frankly a bit confusing, with many people expecting, understandably, a tag sitting comfortably between 600 and 700 quid. The actual price tag has been confirmed at around £450. For those that think that's expensive, a PC that's capable of playing games at 60 FPS 4K native will easily drain your account upwards of £1,000. Christ, just a graphics card for PC that can do that will cost you more than the Xbox One X. Probably, I think. I might be out of date there, but I think it does. With the X already being showcased playing the stunning Forza 7 at 4K 60 frames per second, Microsoft has smashed expectations across the board. With 12GB of RAM, 8 to 9 of which is purely used for gaming purposes, the Xbox One X is a formidable piece of hardware. Now unfortunately, 4K monitors are still pretty pricey, sitting between 200 and 600 depending on what sort of refresh rate and stuff you want. But the Xbox One X will also improve your 1080p images with some various wizardry that I don't really understand, so yeah. In short, I'm extremely impressed. Now if we could just have some games, some brand new games to play on it, that would be much appreciated, Xbox. It's also worth mentioning before I sign off on this point, is that while Forza 7 does run at 4K 60, do not be expecting massive open world games to be running at the same specs. We didn't get any spec details from what Anthem was running or Metro, but if they're both open world, I imagine it will either be 1080p 60 or 4K 30 depending on your preference. Anyway guys and girls, that's about covers it for my Xbox E3 opinions, so hopefully you've all enjoyed. Don't forget to let me know what you thought of the conference overall. I am planning videos for both Nintendo and Sony, it's just I know more about Xbox, so I wanted to get this one out first, if that makes any sense. But as usual, thank you so much for watching. My name's been Dodge Gaming, you've all been awesome, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!
She looked at me and this is what she said. Oh, there ain't no rest for the wicked.